say hey there, everyone, to all my peeps on Facebook. We are live here on Instagram and live here on Facebook. I'm excited to spend time with you, helping you. I'm Donna Hoffman. They call me the Interior Design Advocate because I love to advocate on behalf of all design lovers, which is why every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern, we stop what we're doing here at the Design Studio to come out here and talk to you, my Instagrammers, and you, my Facebook livers. And we love to do a little mini lesson about a topic, and then we take your questions about that topic. And I've left you a cryptic little message for my Facebookers about a little something. We have a little gift we're going to be doing later today. So let's hop to it. I am talking today about accessorizing your home. What it takes to accessorize your home, and where most brilliant, gorgeous, talented design lovers, just like you and just like you, where you're blowing it. So I want to take a quick lesson on that. If you have a question about accessorizing an area of your home or a question about accessories, type them in. Instagrammers, I promise, Katie's going to be watching Instagram to get your questions to me because I can't begin to see what's going on way over there. And Facebookers, I'll be looking to you live in just a sec. So what does it take to accessorize a home, and why are people blowing it? Well, there are two sides to this conundrum. One has to do with planning and budget. The other one has to do with strategy. And I've got to dive right in on planning and budget because I am amazed at how much everyone is underestimating what it really costs to accessorize one room, let alone one home. And we'll talk about the strategy of the what, where, how in a little bit. But in terms of budget, you know, please just to set the condition that I don't want you to shoot the messenger. I'm just giving you the news. I didn't make up this news. But the story is that accessories need to hold their presence, right? They need to hold their weight when you walk away from them, when you step away from them. So that little crystal bowl that you have on your dining room table, when you're up close, you can see how beautiful it is. But then when you're far away, it just disappears into a whole bunch of nothing, right? And those rooms that you're loving on Instagram, on Pinterest, on Houzz, I want to tell you right now that you are completely in the dark about how much it really costs to accessorize those rooms. Tell you a quick story. This weekend, we moved our youngest up to college, to his sophomore first ever apartment. And I thought, I'm going to be good to this boy. I'm going to take him to the College Town Home Goods, and we're going to buy a little something to make this not great looking apartment of his start to feel a little more like home. Bought him two lamps, whole two lamps, and 5 little puny accessories. And the accessories, Mama was being careful, didn't spend more than $16.99 on any one of those accessories. Well, $250 later, for a little college apartment, okay? So, and that's with accessories averaging $16.99 plus 2 lamps. Now, jump forward. I'm working with a design client this past week, and rather than planning her accessories and his accessories beforehand, this couple decided they wanted us to come in after everything was designed and do their accessory layout with things that we signed out from some showrooms so they could see how things really transform spaces. And that's what accessories do. They completely transform and fluff and puff spaces. Well, I had a very clear budget in mind per room, and I knew how many items I needed per room because I've planned all this as a designer. Well, I want you to know that just one fantastic footed bowl in a beautiful Carrara marble, very simple, very mid-century modern actually looking in its design, was about $310. Gulp, yes. So do you have to go to the extreme of $310 for that beautiful bowl on your dining room, or the extreme of $16.99 at Home Goods for the widget for your whatever? I don't know. You tell me what your budget is, but the point is that you need to, at the beginning of your project, whether you're doing a quick facelift on a room or whether you're doing a room soup to nuts and talking to your spouse about what things will cost, I want you to include a line item in your budgets, in your design budgets, called accessories. And that's going to be not only tabletop accessories, your artwork, your decorative lamps, I'll say your pillows as well if you have pillows in a space. Now certainly a kitchen, a dining room, not a ton of accessories going into those spaces, but still what you do have needs to hold its own, right? Other spaces, bedrooms, certainly living rooms and family rooms, those will suck up more in the way of eating up accessories. Oh, did somebody hear somebody say built-in bookcases? Whoo, girl, those are going to really eat up so many accessories. Because remember, you've got your filler accessories, they're, 3 to 4 to 6 inches tall, and then you've got your midline or mid-size, and then you've got your larger accessories to fill up that bookcase. The same client I mentioned to you earlier that had a beautiful bowl in their dining room for $310. In the living room there were some filler accessories that were smaller items. They're about $40 each. So it's not that every single item in those Pinterest rooms is $300. It can be, but it's the sum total of all of those items. And if you're not planning, and I mean really planning and leaving room in your budget for those, you're blowing your spaces entirely. You have to protect money in your budget for accessories. So if you have questions, I've still got a little more to teach, but if you have questions about accessories, please start popping those in. I see some questions starting to fill in. I won't be popping back out here to answer questions. So get those questions in on your accessories now, and I'll tell you about an accessory surprise and present that I have for all of you since it's birthday month here at the Interior Design Advocate. Everybody on my team just about, other than Katie, is having a birthday, it seems. So the other thing I want you to know about accessorization, where you're blowing it, it's on strategy. And I know you're smart, and I know you're talented, and I know that you've got a great eye, but strategy is your lifeline in design. So with accessories, it's about what you place, what goes with what, and what works with what's in the room in total, what's connected to every other element in the room. So what to put in the room, what goes together, what curates well together, where to put it. A lot of people are blowing it on the where. A lot of people think that's simpler than it actually is. And then how to arrange it. It's like a little pyramid, right, of strategies. So protecting budget for cost, and then being really strategic about what you place, what combinations you create, and how you style it out. That's what will make or break your spaces. And what does it cost to accessorize a home? Well, one Pinterest room as a placeholder, we in the design community, placeholder, we do about $1,000 for a placeholder for accessories. It can go higher than that for sure, and it can certainly come in a little lower. Like that dining room I told you, without the lamps, they probably landed at about $600 in accessories for that dining room. And then the lamps, of course, were an additional piece of the pie, okay? So I do want you to know about a little surprise I have for you. I was going to save it to the end, but I'm lousy at saving things till the end, so I'll remind you about it at the end. I'm going to be taking questions on accessories, but I want you to know that we're going to be running a quick flash promotion on one of our products that's all about how to accessorize your home like a boss. It's called Design CPR, Creating Perfect Rooms. There's an entire module gorgeously filled with how to accessorize your home the way a $200 an hour designer would, or a $300 an hour designer would. I put up a link in the description of this Facebook Live, but to get the special pricing, you have to put in a coupon code, because the regular price is $497. But with a coupon code that I'm going to give to you, you can have it for either one payment of $98 now with a second payment to follow in 30 days of $98, or if that's something that's easy for you to do that, you'll get the entire program, or you can do a single pay of $169. And I know a lot of my my community members and my tribe have been saying, hey, when are you going to run a flash sale on CPR? I'm ready for it. So here it is. So you have to use the code Facebook, okay? That's the only way to get the special pricing. You've got to use the code Facebook. Katie, how long are we going to keep this flash sale alive? Are we going to do it for 48 hours or 72 hours? That's the question. Is it for 48 hours or is it for 72 hours? We're going to give it to Katie. We're going to run a little drum roll. And Katie's going to let us know what her decision is. And that's how long this flash sale will be working. Katie, what's your answer? She's so nice. She went for 72 hours. I was betting 42 for you. It's 72. It's 72. So I'll remind you of that toward the end of this Facebook Live. But for those of you who've been saying, Donna, we want Design CPR, but can you give us a break on pricing? I just did. But it'll be up for for 72 hours. What is that, 3 days? 3 days. There you go. All right, questions coming in. Wendy wants to know, what can I set on top of my black refrigerator? It looks so bare. Wendy, I want you to stop and think, do you need to move the eye up there? Do you need to stop the eye at the top of your refrigerator? Isn't there something better in your kitchen you want to drive the eye to? Hint, focal point. Maybe your stove, your oven maybe has a really pretty backsplash, or maybe it's the window. If the case is you don't have something else that you want to drive the eye to, I would keep it really simple up there. No cereal boxes. I wouldn't do the whole fake plant thing either, Wendy. I would keep it very simple. Maybe some sort of piece of pottery or porcelain, something that has good mass, not overwhelming, and that is just kind of a backup singer in the room. But I would hope that there are other areas that you could accessorize to great effect, Wendy, before you resort to refrigerator top accessorization. Hope that helps you as a quick answer for you. Alrighty, so Jill wants to know, I have designed CPR and I highly recommend it. It's fantastic. Mwah. Thank you, Jilly. Christy Murray says, I have trouble with accessories because I feel that everything has to have a meaning or a use. Oh, this is such a good question. I love this question. I'm so glad you asked this. And no, everything doesn't need to have a use, but we'll talk about it. So you feel like everything has to have a meaning or a use, or you just can't live without it. Otherwise, you tire of it. Well, Christy, I certainly go into this in much greater detail in Design CPR, but here's the story. Your accessories are doing something in your rooms right now, Christy. They are, whether you know it or not. They already have a meaning. They are holding visual weight. They are moving shape. They are moving or holding color, right? They're doing something. So if you're not controlling them, they are shooting your room in the foot. They are blowing the room, blowing it out of ever being that, oh my gosh, this is Pinterest beautiful, or oh my gosh, I love the way this looks. Accessories are that powerful because they are design elements that are dynamic, Christy. They definitely connect to each other. What happens on your cocktail table is related to what's going on your wall, which is related to what's happening on the sofa, which is related to what's happening on the side table. It's one connective strategy. Couldn't possibly teach you all those strategies here in a quick Facebook Live, but hopefully that will answer the question for you. Does it have to have a purpose? Does it have to be useful? They already have a purpose. They are already useful. They are decorative elements that are doing something with weight, shape, line, texture, and color. And you totally finish and reinvent spaces based upon those accessories. If there are questions coming in, Katie, from my wonderful Instagrammers, Katie's going to write those in to me. Instagrammers, you can put in questions. And Facebookers, I'm going to keep looking at your questions myself because I'm a big girl. I got my big girl panties on. All right, Betty Harvey Taylor says, my live feed froze. Oh, I hope you can come back later, Betty. Sorry about that. You're having some connectivity issues at your end, throwing around my technical lack of prowess. Betty's came back on. She'll watch it later. Great, Betty. Good to know. Jennifer McCann is saying she loved Design CPR. So glad you purchased it. So glad, Jennifer. I am glad you did too. Leanne Debbie says, I love distressed furniture and I want to do my bed also. My decor is cream and the bed, my decor is cream. Will the bed be too much of the same color? Well, Leanne Debbie, I'm trying to take questions on accessories. I always try to take questions on whatever it is I'm teaching about. Quick answer for you. I'd want to see a picture of what you're talking about to really be able to answer you well. I don't know if you're one of my private groups. If you are, you can post those pictures for me there, Leanne Debbie. If you're not in one of those groups, without my being able to see images, distressed furniture, want to do your bed also, will it be too much of the same color? No, I think it's totally doable. It could be very soft and elegant. And then with accessories, you would roll in different finishes and textures if you wanted to create a little bit of differentiation, and probably some brushed metals would be very nice in there, brushed silver metals, that sort of thing. Hopefully that helps you. Jill Keogh says, I have a vaulted ceiling in a room that has a corner mantle. Oh, Jill, those corner mantles, they just get you, don't they? Okay, so you have a corner mantle that is about 10 feet off the ground. It's about 12 inches wide, and 3 inches deep. I struggle for what to accessorize. All right, Jill, I'm going to tell you something. Underneath this below area, below my shirt, I am wearing pants and work boots ready to go to a construction site because I'm looking at art on a construction site. I know it sounds weird, but my client wants to check with a gallery proportion of things that will go into this home once it's delivered in another couple months. One of the areas of struggle for the client in making a decision has been an area of a bedroom that has a very long, very narrow mantle. And I said to my client, look, this mantle is only 5 inches deep. Jill, your mantle is 3 inches deep. There's nothing I can really put on that mantle because, you know, 5 inches deep, there's my depth. Well, the taller something becomes, generally the wider it becomes. So a little 3-inch mantle, a little 5-inch mantle, there really isn't a lot you can do other than fabulous artwork. So I'd encourage you to look at doing something there, Jill. Good scale artwork. Your mantle's nice and high. It can be one large piece. It can be 2 companion pieces. It can be a fabulous mirror, although given the height and the vaulted ceiling, thinking you don't need mirror there to open up that space even more, you probably want to anchor the space a little bit. But I think great artwork would be wonderful for you. Could you do some, you know, along with that artwork, some really interesting opaque candlesticks? You could, but again, finding things that are only going to be 3 inches deep and won't look like they're toppling off that fireplace mantle as they get taller will be challenging. So there, I would simply go with fabulous, fabulous artwork. And frankly, that's what we're going to be doing in this bedroom with my client at this construction meeting that I'll be in, racing out of this Facebook Live to get to in a little bit. So Jill, hopefully that that helps you as well. And you're telling me also that it's architectural drywall. Got it. Jill, you have a lot of extra little information about that question, but it looks like I covered you, so we're good there. You can send in a follow-up if you'd like, Jill. Kathy is saying, sometimes I have a difficult time mixing my older family decor with my current, more modern style decor pieces. The room can look like an old something. I don't know, the rest of it cut off, but I get where you're going, Kathy, and you bring up a brilliant, brilliant point. And I'm going to be the village party pooper when I tell you everything doesn't look good with everything. That just is what it is. Just as if you went to your closet right now, Kathy, and you looked at all of your favorite articles of clothing, they all look great, but they don't all look great together. Same thing with your accessories. The beautiful things that you had when you were you know, first becoming interested in design and decor, the things that you upgraded to, the things you collected when you were on vacation that seemed like a really great idea after you had a margarita. Now you have it, you know, 10 years later and you're thinking, oh, what was I thinking? Everything does not look good with everything. And if you look at the rooms that you love on Pinterest and on Houzz and in all of the great design magazines or in designers' professional portfolios, those are edited spaces, and I mean edited in terms of what went in and what did not go in. You can't put every photograph you've ever taken. You can't put everything that you've ever collected together. So I'm going to tell you, Kathy, empty out your space. Keep only what you absolutely love and what absolutely looks beautiful in that space, and what absolutely looks wonderful together and has a sense of context, works with everything else. And again, in my design CPR program, I show you what goes with what and why, and that's part of the consideration and strategy in accessorizing your home. But for now, I'll tell you, I want you to just be really brutal in accessorizing and paring down. And what do you do with those things that you spent a lot of money on that don't work anymore? Find them a new home. Pass them forward to somebody in your family who could use them, or a neighbor or a friend, or do a little accessory swap with a good friend of yours, that sort of thing. So everything doesn't look good with everything. Every style accessory definitely doesn't mix with every other style accessory. That's just the nature of the beast, the sad nature of the beast. I've got time for 2 more questions. As I mentioned earlier, I've got to get out of here and get to an art meeting at a job site. So if you've got another question, please feel free to type it in. For Facebook Live or Instagrammers, you can add a question. And in the meantime, I'll just remind you that for those of you who have been waiting to see my Design CPR product, all about how to accessorize like a boss, as well as facelift any room in 30 days or less, I do want you to know, less than 90 days until Thanksgiving, can hardly believe it. If you'd like, we're just decided last night we're going to do a little flash promotion on this. You can go to the URL that I've put into my comments, which is, shame on me for not being able to read that from here, mydesigncpr.com, mydesigncpr.com, and you will get to a website page, and when you put in this code, Facebook, you will see the reg price of $4.97 fall away, and you will be able to purchase that product for one payment of $98 now, a second payment of $98 to follow in 30 days. Or you can do a single pay, saving even more money, and just do a single payment of $169. Okay, my dears, is there any more questions coming in? Is there a ratio? Okay, Kathy is sending one. Person lives there. I don't know what that means, Kathy. Somebody's typing fast. So you've been told that there's a ratio or formula for a good mix of old and new. You know, Kathy, it's not quite as simple as that. What's the total design style you're working to? What's the total, what color has to be moved through the space? Is color being moved into the space? Is a new texture coming into the space? I've done things where it's, you know, 30% older feeling items with a 70% shot of newer items. But depending upon, you know, Katie and I are working on an industrial looking bedroom. You know, the older the better. We're doing some really wickedly cool things there. So that ratio formula goes out the window. We're looking for kind of kitsch, older, distressed looking things. So I'd like to give you a quick, easy formula, but I'd have to know more about the room you're working on to be able to really answer you and see all the elements you're working in. Rather than just old to new, I'd have you think about size, shape, color, what works well with something else, you know, what curates well. You know, does a wicker basket really look good next to a piece of, you know, cut crystal? Answer, probably not. There's always an exception to every rule, but that's what I'm talking about. You know, what sits well together, what works in your interior. And this topic is so visual. I really need to be able to take over the screen and show you what works. And that's why that product design CPR is such a great option for those of you who need it. And if you don't need it, I hope I've been able to help you and answer you and steer you in this Facebook Live. And if you do love design CPR and you want to tell one of your friends or buddies or family members about it, you can turn them on to this great little promotion. It's going to be lasting for the next 72 hours. Boom, boom. There's my 72-hour sign. We're so high tech here. And the code is Facebook. So that's what you want to do to be able to take advantage of that special promotional price. And Rhonda, if you're out there watching, and I know you like to get into our private groups and catch everybody up on what happened during a Facebook Live, go ahead and be sure to post that information as well. Okay, my lovelies, listen, I got a bolt. I've got some art to review at a construction site. This should be interesting, keeping all the dust and debris off of there. Katie, anything else coming in? Katie is telling me there's a question coming on that's not on topic, so I'm not going to take it because I'm on deadline and I gotta go, girls and men. Girls, ladies, and gentlemen. So I will see you next week. Next week, we're going to be I'm talking about designing with neutrals. Don't let it confuse you. There are some really simple ways to look at this that will really make more sense. Keep your homes looking gorgeous if all you're doing is rolling through those neutrals, and we'll talk about how you can use neutrals to cool things down and bring things into a more current perspective as well. Okay, darlings, I will see you next week, 4 p.m. Eastern time. That's 4 p.m. Eastern every Tuesday. See you next week. Bye-bye. I'm not ending anything. I'm trying to end everything here. Here we go.